In episode 18 of Enigmatica 6 Expert, we kill an Apothis boss. We go to the end. We have a musical interlude with no music because, you know, YouTube and bands and stuff. We explore Mekanism Bins. I give you a tour of the finished bee processing plant. We look at storage options. And the end and Obsidian Bees are caught at last. I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's get it on. Killed it.
Have you killed him? What's he give you?
Dropped me a pair of boots and a helmet. Protection 5 and soulbound.
Wow.
And the boots are Sildrim Zap's reinforced shoes of latent magic of tenacity.
Wow.
Feather falling 5, magic protection 7, unbreaking 5.
Mythic.
Items enchantability increased by 12. Oh, it dropped me a... Oh, vampiric glove causes the wearer's melee attacks to absorb health.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, as long as it's not my health.
That says it allows you to absorb, so it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I can try him. Can't have both. Oh, can have both. Alright. See what this dude wants. Or has to offer. Gunpowder bombs, copper lanterns, TNT, rope arrows. Is that it? Nothing then. Well, that took ages to kill. And here we are in the end, at last. Looking for the elusive bees, which I had missing. And I see one right here. Aha! Mr. Obsidian Bee. Yoink. That's one. And that's the ender bee. There is another one though. Oh, as you can see, I've got a load of Mekanism Bins. And this is the ultimate bin. The recipe for these is actually quite easy, so if you're looking for something that stores 4096 stacks, the ultimate bin is the way to go. Just some blue terracotta, that's easy enough, and some smooth stone, so that's just furnace, and then the hepatizon is cobalt, copper and obsidian in an induction smelter, although there are a couple of ways you can actually do it, I believe. If you've got the arc furnace and went that route, you can do it in there. Can you alloy it? You can use Tinker's Construct, so that's another way. Interesting. Copper, cobalt and quartz. But not if you do it in an induction smelter. Interesting. So, I did a thing off camera, as I said I would. It took me absolutely ages, and a little bit of help from my buddy on the server. I introduced 2 more centrifuges. Not intending to use hoppers on these, but I'm trying to get through some of the backlog of combs. We've got through the backload of all the ones that were in this apiary, and most of the ones that were in this chest. We've just got a few stragglers left, and there's nothing in the others. Yeah, it took a bit to get right. I mean, I'm not brilliant with Create. I'm pretty much a rookie, but I can talk you through what actually happens here. XNet is going to send the items into these centrifuges. At the minute, the items are dropping in from the hoppers. Like I said, I'm getting rid of the backlog of stuff. They come out into this chest, which catches all the stuff. I'm not quite sure what is bees. Oh, of course there is beeswax, yeah. It catches all the stuff which cannot be ground up. Some of that stuff, like the nuggets, but obviously not the tin nuggets, goes upstairs, up there. I'm still filtering most of the stuff out of here as I'm processing down the different combs to find out what needs to go up and what doesn't. So those items come across here to get ground up. This is a buffer chest. Shouldn't really be anything in it. Items come out here. Anything, this filter here is tagged with, hang on a minute. This filter here is ore dictionary tagged with the create crushed ores tag. So anything with crushed ores comes down this line. And then everything else carries on going through and goes down that line. So as you can see there's a diamond. And then as they come down this line, they get furnaced, under here. And the wait is roughly about 1 second at the end of here. You'll see that when they come down, they'll pause for a second before they turn into ingots, and then that filter there pulls everything in, which is ore dictionary to ingot. So very good filtering. I'll show you one of those filters. Let me just grab one. I'll show you how to set them up. I don't want to take those filters out because it'll mess up the system. So there's 2 filters. This is your normal filter, which has slots in it. And then you put like the chunks or whatever in there. I'll disable that one. I'll turn them all off. And then this filter here is an attribute filter. So what you do here is you add a reference item, and you can pull out a JEI. So if we go and have a look at chunk. Now there are 2 types of chunks. Sometimes you get these chunks, and sometimes you get these chunks. These ones are more often than not from ores, and then these ones are more often than not, as you can see, from what I call gems. So you've got your apatite, and you've got these, well, non-ingots, let's put it that way. These ones here are clusters, so they're something completely different. So what you can do is you grab one of these, any one of them, and you can see there's a list of items. And what you do is you mouse wheel down the items and picked the one that you want. So in this case I picked is tagged forge chunks, and then you click the plus, and then that adds that to that card. You can, if you wish, also add can be smelted. So it won't, if something can't be smelted, then it won't let it through the filter, and you can add that too. And then you've got three options here. You can allow any, so if it's forge chunked and can't be smelted, it would still go through. Or if it can be smelted and it's not forge chunked, it would still go through with the allow list any. The allow list all items pass only if they have all of the selected attributes, so then it would need to be tagged forge chunks and can be smelted for that one, and then that's the opposite, that's a deny list. When you've got what you want set, you click the tick, and if we look at it now, you can see there allow list any is tagged forge chunks and can be smelted, and you put that filter in your funnel, and that's how I've got two of these filters set up. So this filter here on this tunnel, this one allows the chunks through that can be smelted, and then there is another one on this filter here which is looking for ingots, so anything that's tagged with ingot. So that pulls them all through no matter what type of ingot they are. So that's a very easy way of filtering. It's really good actually. I like that. It's the first time I've used that type of filtering. This is the buffer chest, which is connected by XNet as you see, but everything in this chest is pulled upstairs. I'll probably replace it at some point with a vanilla chest. This one's the kind of the important one, because this is bits that are left over. So I can show you actually with this. We'll send the glowstone upstairs, so all I need to do is pull one, go to XNet just here. This line here is the one that extracts from the chest and this chest, so both chests, but this one here is filtered, so as you can see there it's all nuggets and then the steel dust, because the comb for the steel dust, rather than steel comb should I say, rather than produce chunks, it produces steel dust. So you can see there that they've now gone upstairs. Can do the same with tin. Oh, Prismarine, what's giving me that? Prismarine, go to hell. We're obviously going to have a problem when we fill this up. So what I'm most likely going to have to do is stick another connection on here. This here, if you're wondering, is a lava lily pad. Doesn't look like a lily pad, but yeah. That stops me from standing in the lava. And then if we look underneath, you'll see the workings. Oh, I should say, before we look under there, that all of this is powered from those three water wheels there, through a rotation speed controller set at 20, because there's not much torque. I might in the future add more. But if it goes too fast, then this belt here gets clogged up. So I don't want it too fast. So yeah, if I speed it all up, then I'm going to have to speed this fan up here, which is the one that's blowing or cooking the crushed bits into ingots. So yeah, just those three water wheels, and that comes in here. There's the rotational controller into a gearbox, and then there's just a set of belts, and there's mechanical belts here, and in certain places most of it's covered up, but and this here is just a simple overflow. Everything else should go down here, but if for whatever reason that gets filled up, then this is an overflow. It's a bit of a warning system for me that something's gone wrong. This here is honey, as you can't guess, you know, it's full of honey. Currently I ran out of honey earlier, so what I've had to do is breed the skeleton bees a couple of times. So now if you look there, it says bees 4 of 16, so there's actually 4 skeleton bees in there at the minute, and that is doing more than keep up. And I'm also taking the honey that's been centrifuged from here, stored into this tank. That is actually going back into the honey generator. So that's like a backup of the bottle system that we had going from the skeleton bees. But that will dry out once we caught up and processed all these different combs. So yeah, I said last episode I was going to run XNet up to the house. So as you can see here, it connects here and then goes all the way, it goes down and then up, all the way up to that connector up there, which comes out at this diamond chest. And I'm using pretty pipes now to fill all these bins, and on each pretty pipe connection there is a load retrieval module. I might upgrade these, but to be honest, the produce coming from the bee farm is going to be quite slow to start with, so I don't really see any point in upgrading these. I might do, and each one has what specific item they're pulling. And the reason behind using the retrieval nodes is if I used an extraction one from here, it would push all the items into these chests and storage that I don't have bins for yet. So this will be expanded, and I've probably filled this wall up. So there you can see the glowstone that we brought up from downstairs. Not everything has a home yet. I'm going to expand this out, as I said. And this is actually connected via that round and into all these here. So my crafting terminal can see all those. I'm saying it can see all those. It's not showing me. Oh no, it can't show me all those because I've got retrieval nodes in. Damn. Damn. Okay. Well, once this is expanded, I'll have to take those retrieval nodes out and use an extraction one from this when I've got everything covered. But yeah, didn't think about that. Didn't think about that. So I added some more ultimate bins, and I had to change the way that all these were done. Simply because when you look in the crafting terminal here, if you have a connection to a storage which has a retrieval or extraction module on, then the crafting terminal cannot see those storages. So I had to remove all the retrieval modules from these pipes, and instead I'm using an extraction module from this chest. And these 10 storages on here all have low priority modules in to stop, well, to force this extraction module to go into these bins first, and then if it can't find a home for them, such as the kelp and the beeswax, then they will go in here first, and then it's a toss-up whether they go into this one or whether they go in, well, they probably will go into that one next, and then this one, well, it's actually full before it works the way across. I think what I'm going to do is I'd make another modular storage and add it here just for the produce which is coming off. I mean, a lot of this produce, apart from the beeswax of course, the rotten flesh and the kelp, is from leftover combs that that had in the bee farm from things like wet combs and woody combs, which I no longer make. Wrong chest. So we've literally got rid of all the surplus now from bits and bobs. But there's still all this lot to go here. I haven't processed any of this yet. So this is next. We're just getting down to the final bits and bobs. So we've got 8 woody comb. We'll take those osmium and put them in here once this wet comb's done. We'll take those out as well, because 7 of those, 6 of they can stay in. But this one here, which is done, can do the remaining osmium combs. So close to catching up, but this is working well. Working very well. Had a bit of problem with the honeys, but what I had to do is set up a fluid trash can up here that's controlled by this lever to manually empty these centrifuges of honey, so I can see what's in it first. I'm gathering some of the honeys. Like these, I've actually got some in. So diamond honey, water honey. I think this one's got redstone. It says redstone. Oh, redstone honey. Yeah, it's just wrapped round. That's our ender bee and obsidian bee working. They need a chorus flower. I've stuck a slab over the top to stop it from growing up. It wouldn't grow very far in here anyway, but at least the bees don't have to mess around going up there. They can come straight out. They have actually been placed in here. The one ender bee went on top of the slab and that was fine, and the obsidian bee went into the side. So we'll see what they do when they come back out again, but they've got a while before they come back out. Yep, absolutely fine. It's worth noting that the osmium bee can be bred with the silver bee to create the uranium bee. And the uranium bee flowers is uranium honeycomb. And when processed in the centrifuge, that actually gives you uraninite, which the only way to get uraninite, because it's been disabled from world gen, is the energizing orb recipe. So that's another way to get uraninite from processing the combs. It's only a 1% chance. It's very slim. Very, very slim chance to get it, but it is there. And processing the uranium chunks will give you lead and uranium. The ender bee gives you ender pearls and also dimensional shards, I think it was. So it gives you the ender honeycomb, which when processed gives you ender pearls and a 25% chance of dimensional shard chunks, which when processed, wrong button, well crushed, will give you 6 and a 25% chance of 3 more with a low chance of cobblestone. So again, worth having around. The enderium bee is created from the jar. Needs lead, diamond and ender honeycomb. So you need some ender honeycombs to create the enderium bee, which obviously we've just seen comes from the ender bee. Right, so slowly but surely what we're going to do is replace all these big drawers with the single ones, and then they will automatically be pushed into these. But we're still a ways to go yet before we can fully automate it. Just need to get all these stacks down. So there's 16 stacks in there, 13 in there, 12, 26 and 13 and 19. So as soon as we get all these drawers down into under 8 stacks for these quadruple drawers, then we can think about putting the ender bees or end bees. Just think about putting the bees back in. First time in the Undergarden. Let's see how it goes.